Hello all, hope you're doing well today. Today we are going over, it's chapter 14 and it's the bidding process. Here we go. So in this chapter, really expect for you to be able to define and discuss the three techniques that are used during the bidding process, as well as to be able to restate and give examples of the basic steps involved, and explain the importance of the 8 essential factors for successful bids in relation to mega events specifically. The primary focus of this chapter is understanding how cities or nations can secure the rights to host major sporting events. This often involves submitting a comprehensive proposal or formal candidacy, which must be reviewed and approved by a governing body or rights holder. Some of the high-profile examples we'll look at are the Olympic Games, which requires a multi-year, highly competitive bidding process. FIFA World Cup, known for its global scale and political complexities, and national events such as USA track and field meets and collegiate events like the NCAA championships. As you can see from this image, bidding for events like the Olympics is not just about sports, it's about national pride, infrastructure, tourism, and long-term economic impact. We'll explore the strategic, political, and financial elements that go into this process throughout the chapter. Now let's look at the three primary types of bidding techniques used by organizations, each serving a different purpose in the procurement or event planning process. First, we have the request for information, or RFI. This is a preliminary step used to gather details about the capabilities and services of potential vendors. It's typically used to better understand the marketplace before moving forward with a more formal request. It's important to note that contracts are not usually awarded after an RFI. It's more about information gathering. Next is the request for proposal, or RFP. This is much more detailed and includes the full scope of the project, such as timelines, data requirements, and services needed, how bids will be evaluated, and even special conditions. The RFP process often involves negotiation, and the final decision is based on the overall value of the proposal, not just the price. And finally, we have the request for bid, or RFB. This is used for commonplace items or services where price is the main factor. It's typically a more competitive and straightforward process, ideal when the product or service being requested doesn't vary much between vendors. Understanding these three techniques is key to managing bids strategically and effectively depending on the needs of the event or organization. So let's walk through the basic steps involved in the bidding process, which are essential to understanding when planning to host a sport event. We begin with the specifications. This step defines exactly what needs to be included in the bid. Everything from facility requirements and accommodations to infrastructure and security. Next is the request for bids. Here, the governing body or rights holder sends out invitations or publicly posts the opportunity so that interested cities or organizations can prepare and submit their bids. Much like with the NCAA Final Four in San Antonio just recently, they had to put together their bid and submit it to the NCAA before they were chosen to host it here again a week or so ago. Then we move into the bidding phase. At this point, potential hosts, also called bidding bodies, have a specific time frame to compile and submit their formal bids. Once the bids are in place, the next step is reviewing the bids. A committee or designated group carefully evaluates all submitted proposals based on criteria like capability, logistics, cost, and overall fit. Finally, we reach the awarding of the contract or bid, and this is where the committee selects the winning bid, effectively choosing the host for the event. Each of these steps is crucial in ensuring a fair, transparent, and well-prepared process for hosting major sporting events. Bid and host fees, two important financial aspects of the bidding process. In most cases, the sport organization or governing bodies are known as the rights holder. These are the entities that own the rights to the event, and they typically require some form of payment from the bidding cities or regions. There are usually two types of fees involved: a bidding fee and a hosting fee. A bidding fee is an upfront charge that must be paid when the bid is submitted. It's essentially the price of entry paid to the rights holder just to be considered. If the bid is successful, the next step involves a hosting fee. This is a payment made by once the city secures the event, and it also goes to the rights holder. As part of the cost of officially being named the event host. These fees help cover administrative costs and often serve as a revenue stream for the sport organizations. When it comes to securing mega events like the Olympics or World Cups, there are several key factors that contribute to a successful bid. Accountability. The bidding city or region must demonstrate transparency, sound planning, and fiscal responsibility. Political support. They need strong backing from local, regional, and national government levels that can boost the credibility of a bid. Relationship marketing. Building and maintaining positive relationships with stakeholders, including international federations and decision makers, is essential. And the overall capability to plan, manage, and deliver a large-scale event. This includes logistics, expertise, and experience. Infrastructure. Quality transportation systems, accommodations, and venues that can support massive crowds are critical. And bid team composition. A skilled, diverse, and experienced bid team increases confidence in the city's ability to deliver. Communication and exposure. Effective public relations and media strategies help shape positive global perception and increase support. And existing facilities, having venues and infrastructure already in place reduces risk and cost, which is attractive to decision makers. Each of these elements works together to demonstrate a city's readiness and appeal as a host for mega events. Bidding for a major event is a significant investment. It involves time, resources, and money, and only offers a monetary return if the bid is successful. Many developing cities and countries pursue hosting mega events like the Olympics or World Cups in hopes of gaining economic boosts, global visibility, and social benefits such as infrastructure development and national pride. However, winning bids often hinge on a city's legacy, a proven track record of hosting successful events. For many developing regions, this lack of legacy can be a disadvantage despite their enthusiasm or potential for growth. The NCAA conducts a bidding process for many of its championship events. The Final Four in men's basketball is one of the most high-profile events and draws significant attention during the host city selection. Key bid requirements really look at stadium capacity. They must have a stadium that seats 60,000 or more, and they need to have accommodations with a minimum of 10,000 hotel rooms available in the area. They also need a bid that is supported by a host member school or a conference. In the case of the NCAA Final Four here in San Antonio just a couple of weeks ago, it was UTSA that was the host member school for the conference. So the NCAA has a structured and competitive process for selecting host cities, especially for high-profile events like the men's Final Four. Here's how the process typically unfolds. There is an intent to bid announced. So cities or organizations must formally declare their intent to bid. This announcement must be made within a 1-month window. 1 month later, all official bid materials are due. This includes a draft budget, proposed hotel rates, and confirmation that all NCAA specifications are being met. The NCAA reviews submissions and announces the list of finalists. The finalists have 6 months to prepare their full detailed bid packages. Cities deliver their final presentations to NCAA decision makers. After the presentations, there's a 5-month review period before the host city is officially announced. This process ensures transparency and allows ample time for planning, budgeting, and compliance with NCAA standards. The International Olympic Committee, or IOC, follows a long-term, highly structured process to select a host city for the Olympic Games. The host city is officially elected 7 years before the Games begin, but the entire process actually starts a full 10 years prior, with early planning and preparation. Before a city can even enter the international bidding stage, it must first receive national level approval. Importantly, the IOC only allows 1 bid per country, so internal selection is competitive. The process begins with the invitation phase, which is not a formal commitment to bid. During this phase, the IOC invites interested cities to learn more about hosting responsibilities. The IOC hosts a workshop offering information on both the benefits of hosting and the requirements for submitting a successful bid. This phase is designed to help cities make an informed decision before committing the resources and effort involved in a full bid. The IOC bidding process is broken down into 3 formal stages, each building upon the last, to evaluate a city's readiness and suitability to host the Olympic Games. Stage 1 is where the candidate city outlines its overall vision for the Games. It includes the strategic goals, the theme or concept of the Games, and how they align with the Olympic values and the host city's long-term development plans. Stage 2 focuses on the technical and legal framework. So how the Games will be governed, legal guarantees and contracts, the financial plan, including how venues and infrastructure will be funded. This ensures that the bid is realistic and legally sound. Stage 3 is about how the Games are delivered, how the cities plan to deliver the Games. That means logistics, transport, accommodation, and security. They also need to show how they will create a memorable experience for the athletes, the spectators, and media, and how the facilities will serve the community after the Games, known as the venue legacy. Together, these stages provide the IOC with a comprehensive evaluation of each city's ability to host a successful, sustainable, and inspiring Olympic Games. When discussing the criteria for host cities of major international events like the Olympics, several factors are considered. Here's a breakdown of these criteria. The economic stability of the country and the government. Economic factors are crucial because hosting an event like the Olympics requires significant investment in infrastructure, security, and public services. A country with a stable economy and government can more effectively manage the financial risks and logistical demands of such a major event. The ability to generate revenue through ticket sales, tourism, broadcasting rights, and sponsorships is also essential. Political alignment or agreeability is important. While the IOC claims to be neutral in political matters, geopolitical considerations can still play a role in selection process. Countries with political ties to the United States or that align with Western interests may be seen more favorably during the voting process, especially when major American broadcasters like NBC are involved in the bidding process. American broadcasting corporations such as NBC, ABC, and Fox generate a significant portion of the IOC's revenue through broadcasting rights, approximately 80% of the profits from TV deals. This means that the interests of these broadcasters often have considerable weight in the selection of host cities. They may push for cities that align with American viewership interests, time zones, and ease of accessibility, and influence of the IOC president. The IOC president holds a significant amount of influence over the decision-making process. Their relationships, preferences, and leadership style can shape the voting process. For instance, some presidents may have personal or political ties with specific countries or cities, which can impact the outcome of the host city election. Unfortunately, the selection of host cities has not always been free from corruption. Scandals have arisen where votes were allegedly influenced by bribes, gifts, or other illicit means. In the past, investigations have shown that some cities have used these tactics to secure the position as hosts. The IOC has since introduced reforms to minimize corruption, but allegations and concerns about transparency still linger. In short, choosing a host city for the Olympics is a multifaceted decision influenced by economic, political, and media interests, as well as personal influences and sometimes unethical practices. The most influential factors for Winter Olympics host cities are altitude. Higher altitudes are ideal for snow sports, but can present logistical challenges. You also look for low average precipitation of the bidding city. So that ensures stable snow conditions and minimizes disruptions. You also are looking for consistent natural snow, which is important. Artificial snow can be made if needed, but it's so much better if they have their own natural snow. They need existing sport facilities, so ready-to-use venues for events, reduce costs and complexity. And population is important. A larger population provides volunteers and infrastructure, but you also want that to be manageable. And then the proximity of the Olympic Village. So the Olympic Village needs to be close to sport facilities and airports for efficient logistics. And you need adequate accommodations for athletes, staff, and media. As well, you also want to look at the absence of inflation and corruption. You need economic stability and transparency to ensure a smooth event management. There is an economic benefit of bidding and hosting. What they see is a boost to the economy. A University of Oxford study estimated that the 2012 London Games would contribute 16.5 billion sterling pounds to the economy by 2017. You also see an unemployment reduction. London saw a 1.2% decrease in unemployment during the Games, suggesting job creation through the event. Now, there are also some criticism of economic impact estimates. Some economists argue that these benefits may be overstated as they do not account for the economic activity that would have occurred without the Games. This is known as the counterfactual effect. Now, there are also some social benefits of bidding and hosting, such as the attraction of more mega events. So hosting a major event like the Olympics can lead to a ripple effect where the country or city becomes an attractive location for future mega events, increasing international recognition and prestige. Once on the global event circuit, there's often an aspiration to host even larger events in the future. The modern Olympics have evolved significantly, shifting from an amateur, people-focused festival to a commercially driven, media-dominated mega event. This change reflects a fundamental transformation in how the Games are organized and perceived. There's been a commercial shift, so they have become highly commercial. The Olympics have become a highly commercialized event with sponsorships, media rights, and broadcasting deals driving much of the funding. The IOC and host cities prioritize financial success, making the Games a global business venture. There are also economic motivations for bidding. While hosting the Games boosts local excitement and morale, the real driver for countries bidding is the economic potential. The Games offer opportunities for increased tourism, infrastructure development, and long-term branding for cities. The economic benefits include revenue from media rights and sponsorships as key motivators. Thus, the Olympics have transitioned into a business-driven spectacle where The commercial and economic outcomes often outweigh the original spirit of amateur sports. The urban development of host cities for mega events like the Olympics or World Cup often leads to significant infrastructure changes. Once a city wins the bid, it begins constructing arenas, hotels, transportation routes, and other facilities tailored to the needs of the event. And this creates much of a tourist bubble. It's a designated area that's romanticized and marketed for its history and culture, designed to cater to visitors' needs during the event. The focus is on creating an attractive and functional space for temporary attendees. There is some criticism involved with that, in that these changes often prioritize the temporary visitors rather than the needs of permanent residents. Improvements such as luxury accommodations or large-scale venues may not benefit the local community in the long term, and in some cases the legacy of these structures can lead to underutilization or gentrification after the event ends. Now, there have been some bidding scandals in major sports events. Salt Lake City 2002 Winter Olympics, the bid process was marred by a bribery scandal where members of the IOC were accused of accepting bribes from Salt Lake City officials in exchange for votes. The scandal led to criminal investigations, arrests, and indictments, significantly damaging the reputation of the IOC and leading to reforms in the bidding process. Tokyo, the 2020 Summer Olympics. Tokyo's bid was also clouded by allegations of bribery and unethical practices. Investigations into the bidding process revealed that the Tokyo Bid Committee may have used questionable financial contributions to secure votes from IOC members, leading to public scrutiny and debates over the transparency of Olympic bidding process. The FIFA World Cup scandals FIFA has been plagued by multiple corruption scandals over the years, especially related to the bidding process for the World Cup. These scandals involve bribing, kickbacks, and other unethical practices in securing host rights for various World Cups, leading to criminal investigations and the indictment of several high-ranking FIFA officials. The importance of ethical standards is crucial, and clear communication of bid process. So especially the holding event rights like the IOC and FIFA to establish and clearly communicate ethical standards and transparent bid processes to avoid corruption and ensure fairness in selection. It's also important that those involved in the bidding process must be aware of the moral and legal consequences of improper actions such as bribery or unethical behavior. Misconduct not only damages the reputation of the event, but also undermines the public trust in the integrity of sports organizations. In conclusion, the bidding process for mega events is a complex and highly strategic endeavor, and that requires careful planning, clear communication, and an understanding of key factors such as economic stability, infrastructure, and political support. By mastering these three primary techniques used during bidding, understanding the essential steps involved, and recognizing the critical factors for success, cities can enhance their chances of securing the opportunity to host global events. However, the process is not without challenges, including the need to address ethical standards and avoid scandals. Ultimately, successful bids are built on transparency, integrity, and a commitment to delivering a lasting legacy for both the host city and the global community. And that is all that I have for you today. Have a great day.